Tough week. I'll get some stuff out of the way that I got to cover. Um, Breast cancer awareness this week. We'll wear pink on Saturday. Um, Pretty big deal for us dealing with what we had to do with Hugh's mom and there's a lot of people that are affected by cancer, so it's big for us. UNM Cancer Hospitals helped us a lot. The hospitals helped us with the jerseys. We're now doing our gala that we have in May is no longer associated with the American Cancer. We're going to do our own deal so that all the money stays in the state. So we're teamed up with UNM Cancer Hospital, and we're going to do it with them so that we know that all the people in New Mexico are going to benefit from it, which is going to be good for us, good for everybody in the state, which I represent, which Paul represents. So that's a good thing. I think the guys are excited to wear it. It'll be fun. Be another one of our 8 jerseys or 7 jerseys that we have, which we have a unique deal. Cullen and Tim were honored by the academic all-district team members. Now they can go up for All-American honors. Cullen had a 3.8 overall, and Tim Williams had a 3.38. So we're the only the team with 2 players that were honored. There was only 3 players total in the Mount West honored. We had 2 of them. The last time was Troy DeVries and Ramon Martinez that played for us. They were honored one time as all district. So big honor for those guys academically. Now back to basketball. Tough game on Saturday coming. They're playing well. Woj has done a good job with their team. They've improved. They're competitive. It's like I told our guys, anybody can beat you in this league. And we'll have to come out and try to get better, try to improve. I don't think the film was as bad as I thought the game was against Utah State. I thought we did some good things, but I don't think we improved in where we wanted to improve, so hopefully we'll get better at that.
Where is it you want to improve on?
Well, I just think after you got to bounce back from a tough game against San Diego State, and we got to win those games, and we got to guard. And I've told you guys this, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 times. We will not win games in the Mountain West if we allow 80 points. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So, we've got to get better at getting stops and being more tough-minded, and, we'll continue to work on that, and we'll work on it today.
The last matchup with San Jose State,
Mm-hmm.
You guys went wild from 3-point range. Was that just kind of a hot day, or was that taking advantage of a matchup that we might see again on Saturday?
Well, I just think we made shots. I thought Tim Williams, he might have had 22 that game, and uncharacteristically, he probably missed, 5 or 6 shots within 5 feet. So I think he's playing at a high level. He's definitely the best post player in the league, which I always thought from the start of the year. So we'll have to continue to play through him. And then he provides us with somebody that they have to guard and somebody they have to make a decision if they're going to double him or if they're going to guard him straight up. If they guard him straight up, good luck. If they double him, then it kind of opens up our perimeter shooting, and hopefully some guys will shoot the ball well, and we shot the ball well that game, and I'm sure they'll be ready to play us and looking forward to the opportunity.
How different were things in Tuesday's game and the whole season really when O isn't in there to Chris Smith seemed to drive the lane and there wasn't anybody waiting back there to kind of make him, alter his shot. How bad is it for this defense when O can't stay on the floor to be that guy back there?
I don't think it's bad. I just think we did a very poor job keeping the ball in front of us. O definitely gives you somebody that changes shots. He does a lot of good things for us. But we got a couple guys that need to start playing better, and hopefully they will. But he definitely causes problems for us. Give somebody back there. But he has to be real active for us. And if he's not real active for us, then we struggle.
Am I maybe misstating them? Tuesday night, was it more about O not being back there, or was it the guards, the guys on the
What do you mean by O not being back there?
Was it not having
Did he not play
there?
or what?
No.
Did he not play that game? How many minutes did he play?
Play around.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Last
I'm
4 or
trying
5
to-
minutes.
No, not the last 45 minutes. Was it more of an issue when Chris Smith would drive and Rector would drive that the guards weren't staying in front of him, or was it an issue of
I
the
think that's
guys in
any.
the
I
back?
think that's any game. I think that's any game. I mean, you can go through every game, and yeah, we don't do well when O's not on the floor because we don't have a shot blocker, and yeah, they might get to the rim more. But you can go through every game that O's not playing or sitting out, or I've taken him out, and I'm sure you can go through every game, and there's a reason why guys get to the rim, and that's probably right.
Okay, so the perimeter defense is as
I just thought we were poor defensively. I just think we were poor defensively, but we've never got hurt like that before, and I just think we didn't guard the ball and we didn't do a very good job help defense. But yeah, he makes a difference in there. But you could go through every game that he's sitting out and guys get to the rim, and that's a difference. But that's just not specifically for that game.
While you guys were away on the road,
Mhm.
there was a lot of criticism, not only to the team, but Cullen specifically in the paper. There was a letter to the editor that you may or not have heard about. Does a lot of the criticism get to Cullen, and does that affect him?
Well, I'll just put it this way. When you have to change your phone number twice and you have to shut down your Twitter account and you have to shut your Facebook down, it's sad. And the hardest thing that I have to do and what people don't understand is I have to recruit. And I got families on my program right now that, it hurts. It hurts what we do and what we're trying to do. And, is it warranted? I don't know. Is it fair? I don't know. I just think it's uncalled for, and it's not what we're about. But we knew it when we took it on. But it's definitely not fair to him. And if people that were doing that would close their eyes and think it's happening to their sons, so, it's not fair to him. And do I think it's affecting him? Yeah, I do.
Can you differentiate? Is it harder for you as the coach of one of your players or as his dad?
I'll tell you what's harder for me is just trying to sell my program and try to recruit people. And I have to deal with this when he's my own son. And, families of my players now and families of people that I recruit, it's not like they don't see it. So, we try to do the best we can, and that's all we can do.
Is it something you try and address in the locker room as a team, or there's enough of it out there that you just...
I think it was addressed by my team on themselves. I think they already addressed it. I don't know. I think they had a team meeting, but I think they're tired of it too. But it's a bad state.
Do you have a message to any of the naysayers that are out there?
I don't have them. JP, if I worried all the time about that, I wouldn't be able to handle the job that I'm in now. I just don't understand a kid that grew up here, and we talk about having kids that we want kids from our state to play here. Why would they? He chose to come play here. It's not like he had no other choices. So if you're a fan and you're a true Lobo fan, then I think you cheer for whoever plays here, no matter how bad they play or what they do. But I just think it's polarizing. He's a polarizing figure, and it's just not fair to him.
He does realize probably, or you've probably told him that it's just a few people, but it's always what makes the paper and what makes the radio. He realizes that, correct, Coach? It's not that many people, but it's very...
I think that what's missed out on the whole thing is you got a kid that's a pleaser. And you got a kid that cares about what everybody says, not minority, majority. You got a kid that's almost a 4.0. He does everything that he can to be a great teammate. He does everything he can for this city. He's a great ambassador to our program and our state, and he has to put up with that. And all I ask is that put yourself in those shoes. Some of you guys have kids. Put yourself in put yourself in his shoes. Walk in his shoes for one day, and it's not fair. that you get threats and you get death threats, and it's not right. So, does it affect him? I think that kind of answers your question.
So he's gotten death threats and those had.
I mean, he's had to change his phone number twice, and he's had to take his Twitter account down. So, I'll leave it at that. But it's sad that a player from our university that plays for the Lobos, that's the son of the coach, that has to happen. But I know there's a lot of great fans out there, and that's why I love this place. And I'm committed to this place, and my son's committed to it, but it's just not right.
To kind of piggyback on that, but to keep it to basketball. You said you do think he's being affected by this. How do you think it has affected his play in recent weeks?
Well, I think any of you, if you ever been through stress or times of, where people are, I think it's exhausting. I don't know where he is, his statum. I think he's just wanting to. I think he's so wound up not to play bad or not to make a mistake that affects him, and it's just one of those things that's unfortunate. We're trying to help him. We're trying to do some things, and we just got to get him in a better place mentally. But you can't go play if the stress is so great that it makes you tired and you have no energy. And do I think he's at that point? I don't know if he's at that point. I think his teammates have really helped him. I think they've really supporting him. I think they understand it. I think they're all tired of it. So, I think he's just a little bit, trying to do too much maybe, and it affects him.
Will it just take kind of another breakout game that we've seen from him to kind of snap things out of it?
I hope so. I hope so. I think he's done some good things. I think he's, until the last play where the call was in San Diego, I don't think he had a turnover against San Diego State. And if you would have told me that he wasn't going to have a turnover to that point in the game against San Diego State, who's probably the best defensive team that's ever played team-wise in our conference, then I would have said maybe 4 or 5. But he didn't have any. And, then he has one. Then if you watch the other one, I'm not sure he's out of bounds on the other one. But it's part of it. He's grown up. He's maturing. I think he's playing at a better level. I think he's, running our offense, doing what we want him to do. The other stuff's just unfortunate.
Any chance you maybe think of bringing him off the bench?
For what?
I don't know, just change things up for him maybe so he's not feeling that pressure.
The only change that would help him is if he's not playing here.
Do you think something like this, if it continued type deal, would
No, I'm just saying I'm not going to bring him off the bench when he's my best point guard. He's my best guard. I'm not going to bring him off the bench. I'm not going to do that. So I would bring him off the bench to take more confidence away from him.
You can tell it affects his free throw shooting too. You can see it in his.
I just think he's wound. I think he's wound tight. So.
He's always been such a great free throw shooter, and I mean, it just you can see it in his face. That, it bothers him.
He doesn't look well.
Yeah.
I'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
How's the health of the team?
Good. Everybody's healthy. I think Elijah Brown's had some time off. I think the 3 or 4 days that he got some time off with his hamstring, I think he's really, really good. I think Corey's done a really good job with his treatment, and that's a credit to Elijah. I think Elijah's really grown up. I think he's really taken things serious as far as taking care of his body. I think, as a young kid, you just think you can go, 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 go. And I think what he's really improved on is the minutes he's played and the fact that now he understands he has to take care of himself. With the cryo, they're doing the cryo. Tim and him and Cullen go out to cryo. They do that. I think he's done a really good job with treatment. I think he's done a really good job with his sleep. And some of those things that kids aren't very good at when they first get here. And I think he's really, really matured and really done a good job like that.
So we talked about one subject that is unpleasant. Let's talk about another one that I know you probably can't say much on, but the Mountain West has now had 2 end-of-game issues in the past 5 days. You guys were involved in one. I am going to ask what you think of whether or not the officials should be able to review any call in the final minute. What's your opinion on what they can and can't review? Not the calls themselves so much. What's your opinion on what
I
they
think
can and
that
can't review?
I'll just say this, Jeff, and I don't think I'll get myself in trouble with this. I think that if you can go review out of bounds plays, I think that's an out of bounds play. And I think they've never thought that that would be a play that would be considered that, if that makes sense. I don't think they thought outside the box that that could be one of the plays. Now about the play, that guy's a hell of an official. And if I go into every game, 30 games, 31 games, 32 games, and he's on the crew, then I'm happy he's on the crew. And I think we all make mistakes. I make mistakes. I just think it happened. But if he has my games, I'm good with it because I think he's one of the best officials in the country.
Have you and him talked since then?
I haven't talked to him. He's left me a message, and I know he's upset about it. And I've talked with the league. I've talked with Bobby. You know, and the only thing I can say is I respect him. I think he's one of the best officials in the country. I really do. And I think he's one of the best people that I've ever been around. And that's why I've just kind of left it, because I really respect him. And it was unfortunate. It was unfortunate for my team because you kind of seen what's happened now with our team, with losing that game and then coming out flat at Utah State, and then what's happened with San Diego State at Fresno. So, you know, that's the only thing that's disheartening. But it's like I told my guys, and I got to get better at this myself. And if you're looking backwards, you're going the wrong way. And we have to go forwards, and that's one thing I'm trying to get our guys to do. But I think it's gut wrenching. I think it's shell shocked them because they're young. I don't think they've been through that where they thought they had it, and it didn't happen.
With the rule specifically, or is there some confusion whether the 1 foot, 2 foot?
Well, I
They
think
didn't
what-
explain in the call, but do you
the
think
rule-
that should be like spelled out a bit more clear in the rule books? It's whether it is the 1 foot, 2 foot.
It's you just got to have a foot out of bounds. I mean, like I can step out of bounds and have a foot in the air and throw it in. So it's the same rule. It's always been the same rule. It's people that don't know, that aren't educated on the rules, that make comments, that are doing the games, that are doing things that have no idea. I know the rule. I knew the rule. I told you after the game. I said he has to be 100% sure that that's it. And the only way that that's it is he explained to me, and I told Jeff, and I was quoted after the game, he said he was in the air. Now, if he's in the air, that's a violation. But if he has 1 foot down, that's not a violation. And we've always known the rule. The problem is that Bill Self done it. Lon Kruger's done it. Utah's done it. Iowa State's done it. I mean, it's not like I'm the only guy that – it's not a trick play, guys. I have a hard enough time getting the ball in bounds. You saw us early in the year where we couldn't get it over half court. And I thought the thing that upsets me about my guys did exactly what I asked them to do. They did exactly the game plan I wanted to do, and they did it to a T. And then say, well, you still got to finish the game. No, we don't. If we get the ball in bounds, it's over. It's a 2-possession game. We're getting the ball to Elijah Brown. Instead of being double-teamed where he can't get it, he's going to be single-teamed. He's going to break and get it. He could literally take 2 dribbles and throw it in the air, and it's over. So that's the only disheartening thing. Our guys did exactly what we've executed, but since I did it, and I'm scrutinized, it's a trick play. That's total BS. It's not a trick play. Everybody does it.
Back to San Diego State.
They're really improved. They're really improved. I like him as a coach. You know how I feel about him. I think their talent's better. I think he's done a good job with their team. I think they're very, very competitive.
Is the difference between them, obviously they have better players now just than a year ago?
I thought they had good players last year. I don't think they fit in I think they got really good young players. You know, I like what he's done with his recruiting, and he does a good job coaching them.
Are they not as reliant on the three as maybe some people thought? Maybe not coaches necessarily, but that's sort of what their rep was, that they were still relying on the three. Are they not as reliant on the three, or is that still their MO?
I think the biggest thing, Jeff, is I think they found some guys that were, you know, I think they got some guys, some of their young guys that can play in the post. I think they got the Rogers kid from USF, from San Francisco, that gives them a 5th-year veteran guy that they can throw it to in the post. Now they didn't have that last year, and I think they have that this year, and I think some of their guards can post. Onus and those guys, I think they can post. I think they do a good job with that.
I know you talk about how much Tim in the post opens things up for everybody else. Is that sort of what they're doing? Not to the same level.
I
but
think
just
I
having
think
post
I
opens.
think Woj has done a good job where he takes advantage of the mismatches, if that makes sense. He takes advantage of mismatches, and I think he's done a good job with that.
Can I
Appreciate it.
ask one positive question? Can we do one?
Just one positive?
Please.
I don't know if that's allowed.
I don't think it was all positive. I don't think it was all negative.
Okay,
I think
good.
that was just reality.
Okay.
That's just life.
I
That's what
wanted
we
to
deal with.
refer to the letter that JP referenced, and I don't know if you saw it, but it was a very...
I did not see
Okay.
it. Somebody sent it to
It was
me.
a very positive
A
letter.
dear friend sent it
Okay.
to me.
And I think that that does represent the silent majority. That was also referenced today by a bunch of other people who supported it.
I'm with it. I'm for it. I'm just saying he asked me a question if my son's affected by it. So I answered the question that
No, it's
that I think any son, any daughter, anybody, has he agreed to play here? Yes. Does he know the scrutiny that he's supposed to take? Yes. But it's gone above and beyond what we ever thought it was going to be. And that's all I can say. All I say is close your eyes and put your son or daughter in that position, and how would you feel? That's all I said. And I answered his question
No,
as
that's
fair as I
great.
could, and I'm sure I'm going to get lambasted for it, because I'm sure I'm going to be, oh, there he goes again. He's sticking up for his son. He's wearing his emotions on his sleeve. He's my son. I'm his father. But more importantly, what people don't understand is I've recruited kids to come play here. That's what they have to go through to play here? That's all I'm saying. It's not right.
Was it nice to see the positive comments, though?
I didn't see it, Robert. I don't read it. He can tell you I don't have a subscription to him. I don't have a subscription to the Journal. Maybe I should, but I haven't read it. So all I have is what people tell me. So, I went to a restaurant on Nob Hill. I'm waiting for my wife to get back, and somebody at Scallo's said, "Did you read the nice article?" And I said, "No, I haven't." And they told me about it. So that's what I hear. I don't read it. I don't get on the internet. I don't. But what you got to understand is this is social media. It's totally different. When Coach was here, we didn't allow him Twitter. There's a law passed where I have to let him have Twitter because it's a privacy deal. We didn't have it. We didn't have these issues. Well, now it's social media is big, and anybody can get on there and say whatever they want to say. And I'm good with it, but it does affect my players. Not one player, it affects all my players. And I think Jeff's understood this from years past. Recently, since I've been the head coach, it's affected several players that played for me since I've been the head coach.